Hey y'all, welcome back to Shady Conversations, where we speak the truths most women keep tucked away. I'm your host, the Legacy Curator, Shaina Mowatt. Whether it's your first time tuning in or you've been riding with me since the beginning, this platform is all about shamelessly amplifying the unspoken truths of womanhood, and today's episode is another step on that journey. Let's get into it. Before we get started, I have to say, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother figures out there. I know by the time you're hearing this, Mother's Day would have been a week ago, but I didn't drop an episode last week, so we definitely had to start it off with Mother's Day this week. And plus, mothers deserve to be celebrated every single day. We should be shown appreciation and love today, tomorrow, next week, next month, all throughout the year. So happy Mother's Day to you all today. And happy Mother's Day to me, because I deserve it as well. I had a very sad and lonely Mother's Day, which we are going to get into. But first, let's talk about this. One thing I don't preach is relationships, because that's really just not my ministry. At my therapy session, aka my nail appointment, we had talked about the men in our lives, Mother's Day, all of that. Just catching up. Now, my nail tech has also become my homegirl. We're both moms. Her son is a teenager, preteen teenager, and my boys are toddlers. Also, she's single and dating, and I'm in a relationship with my kid's father and shacking up. Saying that to say, yes, I'm in a relationship, but I really don't have it figured out either. But yeah, we had a lot to share and catch up on, and we just bounced insight off each other. I really love that for us girlies, especially when you're validated for not being the one tripping. Now, accountability is important though, and me and my friends, if I call you my friend, we hold each other accountable. And when we don't agree, we do accept each other's views because we know it's coming from a place of love and honesty. Y'all don't have to keep me delulu. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Now, I do want to say, if I don't talk to you about my relationship, it's probably because I don't think your insight will be constructive. I want the real, because I'm really trying to live a healthy, happy life and not just run off of emotions. So I love that I have friends that I can talk to about things and it be authentic and therapeutic. Now, I want to send out a PSA. And this PSA is coming with all the alarms. Because we came to the conclusion that there is something in the water, hormones in the food, something. Because it seems like me and my girls are all living the same ghetto love life right now. It did hit me though, and I had to express this to my therapist, nail tech friend. At this age, no matter what era of life you're in or entering, in our 30s, we're evolving as women, and a lot of us are choosing growth. I'm clapping that up for y'all, because yes, we need that. But also in their 30s, men are evolving in their own respective. And I can't tell you what they're doing or going through, but they're reaching a point where they have to decide if they're going to choose growth right now or hold on to their ways. It doesn't matter if you're just dating or in a relationship. At this transitional point in life, not only are women relearning and reshaping themselves, men are also doing that. And that's where things get ugly because nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. There's just a lot of thoughts, emotions, and decisions. And if you're a mom and or in a relationship or both, those are both personal and communal because you can't just think, feel, and decide for yourself. If you're in a relationship, not only are you currently relearning yourself and your partner is relearning themselves, y'all also have to relearn each other. I can only imagine dating in a transitional phase, so I'm praying for y'all out there. I don't got no words for y'all, but I'm praying for y'all. That was just a little thought that came to mind, and I think it's important for us to show ourselves grace as we relearn each other, but it's also important for us to show our significant others grace as they are relearning themselves as well. And hopefully, as you guys relearn yourselves and each other, you're growing together and not apart. But anywho, that's the conversation for another pod. I might need a guest to come in and talk with me on that one. We're going to have to talk it through something. You're listening to Shady Conversations, the space where real women speak real truths, hosted by your legacy curator, Shaina Mowatt. And behind every episode is TSS Motif, the creative engine curating powerful experiences, brand storytelling, and meaningful conversations. From social media production to brand development, event curation, and transformational spaces, TSS Motif is where vision meets voice. If you're looking to collaborate, elevate your brand, or dive deeper into each episode through the Shady Conversations blog, head to tssmotif.com. All right, back to the episode. But anyways, let's get back to Mother's Day. So let's set the scene. Like I said, I spent Mother's Day by myself. And no, I have not reached that era in motherhood where I want to be by myself. Because if you know me, you know my boys are coming too. They go everywhere with me and I'm everywhere with them, okay? But what had happened was I was simply just choosing peace over pretending like everything was just cool and okay. I just didn't want to be the drama at a family event. Respectfully, I just wanted everybody to enjoy themselves. And if that was just going to happen by me eliminating myself, then I just had to do so. I would have been there and I would have been on edge. I would have been at the function and I probably would have been like a gray cloud in the room. I just had to be real. Sometimes being present physically means abandoning yourself emotionally. And I didn't want to do that. It was Mother's Day. I wanted to keep my peace. So I stayed home and I chose to miss out on the function. What I don't understand is why choosing myself just seems so hard these days. It seems like every decision where I have to choose myself is requiring me to do so when all I want to do is be a present mother. But I have to remove myself from the equation a little bit. And it's hard, man. And it's not mom guilt because I knew that my babies were going to have fun at the family function. They were going to be with their cousins and all that. You know, they were going to have a good time. It just feels like I got the short end of the stick because it was Mother's Day and I was spending it by myself. But two things can be true. You can want to be a present mom while also being a woman who needs space, clarity, and just some time to get realigned. What I did do on Mother's Day, though, was get some business systems together, and might I say I am proud of the outcome. That time was well spent. Maybe not the way that I would imagine spending Mother's Day, being loved on and admired and appreciated, but time well spent regardless. Hey girlies, we're going to take a very intentional pause because real quick, why haven't you locked in? Here's 15 seconds to get it done. If you're listening on Spotify, hit follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, then subscribe. That way you can be a part of all the conversations, past, present, and what's coming next. Now that we got that out the way, here's 5 more seconds to go like this episode. Thank you for locking in for real. All right, back to the episode. I've noticed something about myself, and I don't know if others are like this too, but maybe, you know, like you're dealing with something in life, so you go back and you start watching one of your old favorite shows or something. Well, I restarted watching Girlfriends. And every time I rewatch Girlfriends, I kind of just be like, you know, you just learn something new. The first time that they put it on Netflix, I rewatched it and I was like, yo, I used to really watch this show and everything kind of just went over my head. Like, I just thought this was just a group of girls. I didn't realize that, no, like these are real life events that women can truly relate on and we're really going through. And so I rewatched it again for like the 100th time this time around. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, I can really see myself in here. So relationship wise, and when I say relationship, I'm talking friendships, love life, relationship with God. Relationship wise, I am Maya. But to my core, I am Tony. But Tony season 6. If I'm being honest, I've had my Tony before season 6 moments too. The ones where I knew better, but I still chose what felt familiar over what was aligned. But come season 6, Tony really hits a turning point because, you know, she's a new mom. She's a divorced woman. She's working on co-parenting and all those things. And she just gets tired. She feels stretched. She's not heartbroken, but she's like exhausted. And the turning point really comes because it's like there comes a point in life where you realize that you keep auditioning for roles that you're already qualified for, and you shouldn't have to prove yourself anymore. When it came to her friendship with Joan, Tony was ride or die. Like, she's always like, that's my best friend. I got her back. Like, remember that episode where Tony got beat up in front of the club? And Joan was just standing there and it was the whole thing. And Tony's like, no, I really ride for you. And I feel like Tony has always proven to be that person. And then when it came time for somebody to rock for her, she always got like the short end of the stick, or it just never happened. So yeah, and it's not, like I said, it's not that she was heartbroken or anything over the situation. I think she was just tired of trying to prove herself because she's already proven herself. So I did a quiz on BuzzFeed just because I've been watching the show. And I was like, let me see if what I'm thinking about how I identify with these ladies is what it is. It's good to know that I know myself very well. And I got Maya on the quiz. And like I said, she's the one that I identify the most with. The description that they have for Maya is that, you're the funny one in the squad. You're always prepared with a comeback for anyone who thinks they can get the best of you, but you're even more ready to throw hands if anyone tries to come at one of your friends. You're always a good time. You make everyone laugh, and you turn even the most boring events into a party. And that's me. That's pretty much me. I'm typically that friend or that cousin or whatever the vibe is. That's typically me. I think you guys should go to BuzzFeed. Maybe I'll drop the link in the description, in the episode description. And I want you guys to come back and comment what girlfriend you got on the quiz. Or if you already think you have an idea of which girlfriend you are, just comment it. I think friendship dynamics are so interesting, and the way that it's reflected in girlfriends is crazy. If we were to break down Maya, Joan, Lynn, Tony into like different archetypes of a woman, and it's not to say that you can't identify with all of these women, but like how I can identify with Tony in different aspects of life. But I think it just depends on what phase of life you're in. So if you're in your Maya phase, it's very much giving searching, evolving, spiritually stretching. Joan is giving that you're trying to hold it all together, perfection and pressure, a whole lot of pressure. Lynn is giving you're lost but free. You're just figuring it out. And the Tony phase, now we're going to break Tony down into two parts because there's Tony phase pre-season 6, where you're just being chosen, you're kept, you're validated by status or lifestyle, or even love maybe. And then there's that Tony season 6 where her boundaries are strong. She's heavy on self-preservation, and she's just choosing herself without apology. I can definitely identify with the Tony season 6 version currently today, right now in my life. So drop a comment. Let me know what phase you are at. Are you in your Maya phase, your Joan phase, your Lynn phase, your Tony phase? Let's talk about it, y'all. What if the one thing you've been avoiding is actually the exact life-changing tool you've been searching for? If you cringe whenever you hear finances or life insurance, it's time to change the narrative. Life insurance isn't about death, it's about stability while you're living. It's how you make sure your family is protected, your business stays afloat, your responsibilities don't fall on loved ones, and your dreams remain intact even when life shifts unexpectedly. At Life by Design Financial, we show families, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits how to leverage life insurance for real freedom. That's asset protection, long-term stability, community impact, and legacy that actually outlives you. Your purpose deserves structure, your dreams deserve protection, your family deserves peace. If you're ready to stop avoiding the conversation and start building your life by design, let's talk. Connect with Life by Design Financial today. Your future will thank you. All right, back to the episode. I want to open the conversation to talk about being the mom friend. Not the one who acts like the mom of the group, but the one who actually is a mom. I didn't have my kids super early on. I had my kids when I was 29. And up until that point, majority of my friends also did not have kids. So we kind of were living like the same life, just young, wild, free to do me. And it's not that you and your friends don't connect anymore, but y'all just don't connect the same way because as a mom, your priorities shift, your time isn't your own, and your decisions carry weight beyond you. Meanwhile, the friends who have not reached that point in life, and it's not a problem because their time will come, but they can still move more freely. They can be spontaneous. They can make decisions without considering these tiny humans. And truth be told, it creates a gap that nobody really knows how to address. And so we kind of just pretend like it's not there. Like, for example, when plans are being made and it's not kid-friendly plans, but your friends are like, just pull up. And meanwhile, you're trying to figure out, whoa, who's going to stay with my kids? Do I have the energy? What does my tomorrow morning look like? And just your overall patience and social hourglass all at once. And even if the occasion is kid friendly and you bring your kids along, you're in a different mode compared to everybody else who's ready to socialize and have fun. Like, as a mom, you're on go and you're on guard, and it's a different type of energy. As the mom friend, you can't just be outside. Everything is scheduled, intentional, and thought through. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure that when you are a friend to the mom friend, they start to seem like they're being distant, but really they're just a little stretched. It really is a whole identity shift because before you become a mom, you're just a friend. You all have the same access, the same energy, the same availability. I mean, depending on work life, of course. But now as a mom, speaking for myself, I got to split my time between who I was and who I'm responsible for being. And sometimes I don't even know which version of me to bring into the room anymore because every room requires something different from me. There's a version of me that's a mother, structured, responsible, always thinking 3 steps ahead. There's a version of me that used to just be free, spontaneous, light, able to just be without calculating everything. There's a version of me that's healing, still processing and still unlearning, still trying to figure it all out in real time. And then there's this version of me that people expect, the one they're comfortable with, the one that don't make them feel like they gotta grow too. So before I even show up, I'm already negotiating with myself. Do I come as I am? Do I tone it down? Do I open up? Do I just keep it surface? Because every version of me don't feel safe in every room. And it can be exhausting having to filter yourself depending on who you're around. Watering yourself down in one space, over-explaining yourself in another, and still leaving feeling like you weren't fully seen in either. But the real question isn't which version of me do I bring. It's more so, how do I show up whole? Not just the easy parts, but the evolving, layered, still growing parts of me. Because I'm not multiple versions of myself. I'm just one version in different stages of becoming. And if I gotta choose between being understood and being authentic, I'm choosing me, even if it means that I'm outgrowing the room. This episode is brought to you by me, your legacy curator, Shaina Mowatt. I'm not just here to talk about growth, identity, and purpose. I help you build the life you're praying for in real time. As a real estate professional, mortgage originator, and financial strategist, I guide individuals and families through the decisions that shape legacy. From purchasing a home to restructuring debt to creating a financial plan that feels doable, intentional, and God-led. Whether you're buying your first home, trying to understand what you can actually qualify for, wanting to utilize real estate as a wealth building tool, preparing for a new season financially, or just tired of trying to figure it out alone, I'm here to help you move from overwhelmed to over-prepared. If you're ready to stop guessing and start building, you can connect with me directly at yourlegacycurator.com or click the link in the show notes. Because legacy isn't something you leave behind, it's something you're building right now. All right, back to the episode. When you become the mom friend and now you're the one with responsibilities, the one who can't ever do nothing, the one who always got to check in, There's a little bit of a quiet isolation that happens because you love your life, you love your kids, and you love your friends, but it is a different kind of lonely when you're surrounded by people, but you still feel like nobody really understands your reality. You don't want to trauma dump. You don't want to sound like you're complaining about motherhood. You don't want to make your friends feel bad for not having kids. So you just kind of like carry it quietly. I don't think being the mom friend means that you have to find new friends who understand motherhood. Yes, my friendship circles have changed. I still have my same friends, and I still now also have mom friends. I did make new mom friends as a mom, but I didn't let go of any of my old friends, and I wouldn't want to ever do that. And I don't think it's about finding friends who understand motherhood. I think it's just about allowing space for friendships to evolve or be reassigned. You're gonna have to reframe the dynamic. It might come down to some friends being a part of your past. Some of your friends are for growth, so they might be able to stay on the journey. And some of them will be new. You may meet them in this season, but some of them may not meet you in this season. Being the mom friend, it doesn't make you boring. It just makes you layered. And the right people won't make you feel like your life is an inconvenience. They'll kind of learn how to fit into it. I don't think becoming a mom makes you change. I think it makes you expand. And not everybody has the capacity to meet you at your expansion. As we wrap things up, I just want to thank all of today's listeners for sharing space with me today. If today's conversation spoke to you, I hope you give yourself permission to sit with it, speak on it, and heal through it. Remember, she has an intentional destiny yielding, and this journey, it's yours to own. Don't forget to subscribe, share, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at That's So Shaina. If you're ready to be a guest or a sponsor, tap in. We're building this platform together. Until next time, stay shady, stay grounded, and keep the conversations going.